Alright, I'm Rachel with R2 Customs. So today we were just kind of hanging out in the shop. I wanted to try out some natural stains. We have a few projects going, and I had seen some stuff online about these stains that you could make from really simple like household products. So I wanted to try those out. We got a couple of projects going, one being some stair treads that we're going to do, some custom stair treads. And we tried out some traditional stains. I'm not quite sure that's the look we want. The person's kind of more interested in a rustic wood look, or like the barnwood look, but can't really put barnwood on stairs. That's not gonna work out too well, I don't think. It's gonna be too rough. So we want new wood, but we would just want to make it look old. So behind you can see the stains we tried out originally. There are a couple different grays, and then just a walnut board. So then here we have some other options that we did the natural wood stains on. And I'll go through how to make the stain too, just so you understand, but it's super easy. It's stuff most people have around. So first I guess I'll show you some of the woods we put it on. So this is just some pine shiplap. Oh, I think this one turned out really beautiful. I was surprised at how pretty. It really looks a lot like the walnut. I was surprised how much it is reminiscent of that. The next piece, this is just like construction board here. Pine construction 2x material. This doesn't have any clear coat or anything over the top of it, but I could see some uses for that. Not necessarily for our stair tread, but definitely for some other projects. Kind of cool. Then we had this is some white oak. Thought this one turned out kind of cool. It's a really dark, for anyone wanting a really dark stain. I was surprised how dark the white oak came out. And that's in the other videos I'd seen where people tried this, they just said you had to try this on your wood to see what you were going to get. Well, you know, we weren't sure what wood, we just know we want a certain look. So, we just tried it out on a whole bunch of different woods to kind of figure out like what might we like. I even tried it out on some things that we just may use for some other projects. This one is on just a maple. I thought that one turned out really pretty. And this one might be my favorite right here, because this to me really does look kind of like a driftwood look. And this one is red oak. And I was surprised that the red oak is the one that came out the most kind of gray, distressed looking. And then so the next one here, this is on yellow birch. And it's kind of cool. Sort of a brown look. And then just for the heck of it, we just wanted to see what it would do on walnut. I'm not sure I would do this to walnut because it's really pretty just on its own. Here's walnut. But I guess if someone wanted something really dark, then the walnut definitely did that with these stains on it. And then this one is another favorite, and believe it or not, like this nice distressed wood look is just on 3/4 inch ACX sanded plywood. So I thought that one came out really cool. Alright, so I'll just go over really quickly kind of the process that we did to get this. Basically, the two main ingredients, first of all, tea. Everything is coated in tea to begin with. This is just brewed tea, nothing else. I just brewed it strong. I put several tea bags in, poured some boiling water, let it steep for a while. That was my first coat on everything in order to get it to take and to start the aged look. Here's a piece that just has the tea on it. Here's another one. So see, that just kind of starts to age it. And then here's what our stuff looks like once it's all prepared. This is just vinegar and steel wool, and then it ends up this dark brown color. This takes several days to get to this, but I'll go through that in a minute. And then this one has coffee in it as well, still with the same vinegar and steel wool base. All right. Oops. Whoops. Okay, so in order to make these, super simple. I couldn't believe how easy these were to make. Just get some stuff out of the way so I don't mess up my pieces I already did. Basically, I'm going to take a piece of steel wool, unravel it. It said it works better if you cut it into small pieces, so that's kind of what I'm going to do too. I'm just going to put that in first. So from what I've gathered about this, it's the oxidation that causes the color change. So the vinegar and the steel wool react, and then that's what gives the color. And as far as the tea and the coffee added to it, apparently it's the tannins that are in the tea and the coffee that help react with the wood as well. And the reason the woods turn out, each one turns out so different, is because each wood has a different amount of tannin in it naturally. Alright. Should have pre-cut these up. That's alright. So you'll wind up with a jar just full of cut up steel wool. Alright, and then vinegar. Just plain old vinegar. I bought this at like Dollar General or something for like $2. And then, I mean, that's it for one of them. And then it just has to sit. So I think, let's see, I mixed up these on 4/9 and today is 4/14. So it sat for several days like this to get to that point. So I'm going to mix it up. And then also don't leave the lid on tight because it's going to have a kind of chemical reaction going. Alright, then the other one, basically same exact thing. Only you're going to put coffee in it too. So I think I'll just rip this one. I think that's easier. I think that's what I did the first batch. I guess the finer you get the steel wool torn up, the more easily it kind of dissolves into your mixture. After a few days, the steel wool is almost totally disappeared into this and disintegrated. There we go. Vinegar. Leave some room for my coffee here. And then coffee, I did not do a precise measurement. I figured it would be darker with more coffee. So I did like a pretty nice helping of coffee into mine. Like so. And that's it. Shake it up and let it sit for the few days, just like the other one. And like I said, loosen the lid while it's sitting. And that's it. Then after a few days you have this. I'll go through kind of what I did on each of these boards. There's not a huge difference between the vinegar and steel wool and the coffee, but it does seem like the coffee gets it just a little bit deeper tone. Kind of some more blacks in it. So, figured I would go ahead and do a couple of these boards that I have here. I did see one other thing online about adding some boiled linseed. So to my two mixtures that I already have, I'm going to add some of that and try that on these other two boards. These ones do not have the oil, It is just the vinegar and steel wool mixtures. So I did want to see what it would do with the oil, so I'm going to put some oil in these other two, try it out on these two boards. You can kind of see how it goes. Oh, I don't have a screwdriver to open my thing. Here it is. So the oil, I guess, is supposed to help it seep into the wood a little deeper. So you can kind of see, where's a good one? This is more, it's not going to be a really deep into the wood stain. So I guess the main goal of the linseed oil will push it a little deeper into the wood. So I was just curious to see how much of a difference did that make. I did sand afterwards on some of these pieces just to see, and it's definitely in deep enough that you can do a nice sand on it. So let's just add some oil. Into my teeth. This one was in the tea, and I did read that you could do that with the tea as well. Now I'm going to do it on my vinegar stains because I've already treated these two with tea. Okay. Nothing had very precise measurements. And I don't know that you have to be too precise with this. You're going to get a little different effect depending on how much of the ingredients you put. So you probably just want to kind of test it out like I did on a few different woods. Let's do this one too. I'm getting some of the oil on me. That's why I'm just wearing a sweatshirt in the shop. I'm going to get my clothes messed up. Alright, put the lid back on. There we go. There, let's shake this one up. I think with the oil in it, you have to shake it and then use it right away, so I'll have to shake that one up again. Alright, let's try this out. I'm going to do one side with the coffee and steel wool and the other with just the vinegar and steel wool. So you can kind of see how this changes as it goes. And I just use these inexpensive foam brushes to put this all on. I'm going to do the side a little too, just because even though this is not a perfectly finished piece, I like to see what the end grain might look like. There we go. You can see it start to change. It doesn't look like much right when it goes on. That's another mix. I guess with the oil you have to do lots of mixing. Let's try this one. I left it sit pretty wet on the surface to absorb as well. We'll have to add a picture to the end about the difference in how the ones with the oil turned out, because this won't have enough time to set up on the video here. Alright. And that's it. And you can see them starting to change. I'll stand these up and just do the other side. Well, I'm getting some of my steel wool in it from before. It's like making salad dressing. Alright. Alright, let's try the other side with this. And once these dry, I can do a comparison here. This makes a pretty thin stain, which is why I did them with the foam brushes. Some of them I had rubbed it on, but I think the foam brush is the best way after trying it out. There. And then we'll let those dry. We'll show if there's a difference between adding the oil or not, just in some photos at the end, because it takes some time to dry. But you can see it starting to work on it as you go. That's much darker than the original wood. Oh, that's not it. This one. So you can see how it immediately starts to look more aged. And then this is that same wood right there in a finished one. So I don't know. This is my favorite. This may end up being the stair treads, I think. So I don't know. Let us know what you think. Try it out yourself at home. So now that the pieces that we did with the oil added to the stain have dried, we wanted to show you how those turned out and then kind of just go over that a little bit. So you can see the difference in the two pieces. I'll hold them both up here. These are the same wood and the same stain. This side is the coffee. This side is the coffee on both of these. And then this one is just the steel wool. So then after trying this out, what I realized was that the oil does not help it seep in deeper to the wood. That was kind of a difference. What it did was give it some more variegation and give it a little bit more weathered look. So you can see more of the wood showing through on parts. I think the oil just changes the way that the stain absorbs into the wood. You can see if you want a more solid tone, then you would like it without the oil added. If you want it to have more variegation and to look more weathered, then I would say that you want to add the oil to it. Then here's the other piece, and these two are the same wood as well. And then on this one, I definitely like the one with the oil better. See how there's more variation in the tones on this? Same thing. So coffee side, and then this was just the steel wool and vinegar side. So then in trying to choose which tread we're going to use, I still think my original thought was best on this. This is the flooring that's going to be near that. And I definitely feel like this piece is going to be the best to go with it. With the coffee stain. Alright. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and a like.
And make sure and subscribe and ring the bell so that way you get notified of new videos when we post them. There's a lot of content coming with this channel. We've got a lot of remodeling projects going on, a lot of new stuff that we're doing. I'm doing some tool reviews. So hopefully we're trying to give you guys a wide variety of content So, like, subscribe, ring the bell, come back and see us. Thanks for watching, guys.
I feel like I was just standing there like a dummy.